So here we go again, another Tuesday morning. Welcome to anybody that doesn't normally take the class. I am still drinking coffee, so I am hot this morning. Let's just dive right in and get started. And you guys know, as we practice, if you have questions, you can always send me a chat, or you can send me a text message too. So just take a nice, easy seat. Allow your hands to just be on your thighs. You can have palms down or palms up. And soften your gaze. Just allow yourself to settle in. Allow yourself to root into your sit bones. Allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. Allow the breath to come in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you inhale and exhale, just allow everything to soften. Noticing the rise and the fall of your chest and your belly. The soft sequence of inhale and then the exhale. Focusing on your shoulders for just a moment. As you take a big breath in, just lift your shoulders up. And then as you exhale out, allow them to drop. You may need to do that 2 or 3 times. Just allow them to really and truly relax. As you feel your shoulders to relax, feel the sensation that goes down your arms, into your forearms, into your wrists, into your hands. Just allowing to let it all relax. See if you can sit up just a little bit taller. Maybe even drop your chin a little. Lightly bring your lips together so you're inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Bringing your attention to your jaw and your face. If you feel that you're clenching through your jaw or holding tension anywhere in your face, just breathe into that area and then let it go. Allowing your jaw to soften. And then moving throughout your body. There's another area of tension that you need to direct breath to. Take the next couple breaths just to breathe into that area and allow it to soften. As we practice today, our focus is going to be that pause. In our outside world right now, we are on a pause. Just taking a little time out, taking a little break. Wherever you are on that, if you feel that it's a good break or a bad break or a forced break, there's no judgment, no need to identify anything as we practice. But I just want you to internally take that pause with that breath. So today, instead of speeding forward throughout the entire class, we'll come into a pose, we'll breathe, we'll maybe stay a little bit longer than feels comfortable. But then when we come out of that pose and into our next pose, you'll notice how good that feels. If there's an additional intention that you'd like to set today for your practice, take a moment to do so. Together, let's bring our hands to heart center. Bowing our head to our hands, releasing our hands, lifting our head, and slowly coming into a child's pose. So just make your way back to your mat. Allow your hips to settle back behind you. And just connect with that breath. Walk your hands over to the right. Let your hips drop to the left. Feel that stretch down the side body. Take a big in breath. Walk your hands all the way to the other side. And again, feel that stretch down the side body. Slowly walk your hands back to center. Back into that child's pose, allowing your head to drop down to the floor, allowing your hips just to relax. As you take a big breath, I'm going to slowly turn to the side. You can stay right where you're at, toes tucked under in that all fours position. We're just going to start by letting the heels and the hips drop from side to side. As we do this, if you want to look back behind in the opposite direction that you're dropping the heels, you may. Or maybe you're just keeping your upper body facing forward. As you do this, try to keep your knees hips width apart. That'll change the sensation a little bit. Let's drop the hips to the right and then look back to the left. Take a big inhale, come back to the center, drop the hips to the left, and then look back to the right. You can try this a couple more times on your own, just coming to one side, holding there, taking that breath, pausing, and then coming back to the other side. Come back to the center. Take a big step with your right and left hand, keeping the hips lifted. We're going to come into puppy dog pose. So as we come into puppy dog pose, pull your chest down. Maybe your head drops all the way, maybe it hovers. Staying connected to the breath. On the next inhale, slowly make your way to your first down dog. So setting that down dog up, lifting those hips high, walking those legs out. Maybe dropping those heels from side to side, maybe pedaling them out. Maybe you're holding still. Making sure that side body is long. Slowly drop the knees back down. Come back onto all fours. Let's take our right leg back behind. Toes tap down, lift the leg up, holding here. Point and flex through the foot. Maybe rotate the ankle. Slowly bring the right knee down. Left foot reaches back behind, point and flex. Nice. Bringing that left knee down, right leg reaches back behind again. This time we're going to bend the leg with the same hand. We're going to reach back behind. Watching that balance this morning. Let's see where we're at. Nice job. Slowly come down and then come to the other side. So that left leg steps back, lift the leg, bend the knee. With that same hand, a little quad stretch. Pull that heel into the glute. Slowly come back down and make your way back into down dog, lifting those hips high, walking it out. Bend through the knees, slowly take a walk to the top of your mat. Coming into that first forward fold. Feet are hips width apart, really rooting down through all four corners of the feet. Noticing how your body's feeling this morning. Just breathing. When you're ready, slowly come to standing. Taking a big breath, shoulders come up, back and down. Big inhale in. Reach for that right wrist. We're going to reach all the way up and over, keeping that eye gaze straight forward. Really pressing down through that opposite foot. Come back to the center, other side. This might be my favorite stretch in the whole world. Always feels so good. Let's come back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, right foot steps back. Coming into that low lunge. Your option, do you need to come down on your knee? Do you want to just hold here? How are you feeling today? If you brought that knee down, bring that leg back strong and straight. Bring the right hand down. Left hip or left hand comes to the hip. Slowly twist into that front knee and hold here. Arm can reach up or can stay on the hip. Bring the hand back down, step forward, forward fold. Big inhale, come to standing. Reach for that right wrist, reach all the way up and over. Come back to center, left wrist, reach all the way up and over. Oh, nice job. Back to center, exhale, forward fold. This time, left foot steps back. A little bit different. You can come forward and back. Just taking your time, feeling, listening to your body. Left hand stays down, right hand comes to the right hip. Slowly twist into that front knee. Shoulders stacked one on top of each other, and then lift that top arm up. Bring the right hand down. One more time, we're going to take a big step into that forward fold. As you come into that forward fold, if you have a block or you need a block, use that block. Otherwise, just allow your spine to grow a little longer. Notice how this forward fold feels. Feeling the stretch to the back of your legs. Slowly bring the hands to the hips. When you're ready, slowly come to standing. Take a big breath in. Reach for that right wrist one more time. Reach all the way up and over. That third time, that stretch, you should be able to go a little bit deeper into that side body. Come back to the center. Change wrist grips. Come to the other side. Feeling that nice stretch. Come back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back. Moving on. This time, you can drop the knee down or keep that leg extended. Let's come into crescent. Reach those arms up. Pick your fingers to the midline and sinking down in those legs. Holding here. Exhale, bring the hands down. Big step. Let's come back to down dog. Walk it out. Take a big breath and hold here. Slowly come forward into plank. As you come forward into plank, that option is always to drop down to your knees if need be, or push back to down dog. Or if you're feeling like you need a little bit more, just hold in plank just a little bit longer. Following the breath. And let's meet back in down dog. Bend the knees, right foot takes a big step right between the hands. Hold here, crown of the head is reaching forward. Back leg is long and strong. Lift up, crescent. Pinky fingers turn into the midline. Hold here. We might have a puppy dog, and we do. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step back to down dog. Hi, CJ. And you can walk it out. Oh, when you're ready, take a big breath, slowly come forward to plank. We always talk about bringing the dog to the studio. Well, here he is. Push back to down dog. And then slowly come forward to plank. Thank you. As you come forward to plank, drop down to your knees if you need that option, or slowly lower down. Shoulders come up, back and down. Lift up, baby cobra. Let's come back down. Lift up again. Inhale. Nice job. Slowly come back down. One more time, lift up, holding here. As you lift up, just pause in this baby cobra. Belly button stays in. Slowly lower down, tuck the toes under, push back to down dog. Adjusting your down dog as needed. Take a walk to the top of your mat. Hands come to your hips. Slowly come to standing. Take a big breath in. Right wrist. Reach all the way up and over. Come back to center. Left wrist, reach up and over. We're gonna flow through one more sun salute and then get into those hips. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back. As you step back, I'm gonna move my angle. Hold here. This time we're gonna drop the heel down, make our way up to warrior two. Pull the shoulders behind the back, reach those arms forward and sink into that front leg. Big inhale, sun warrior, reach. Nice job. Let's stay here for another full inhale and exhale. Come back to warrior two. Staying here. Feeling the strength of the legs, the arms should be parallel, pulling those shoulder blades together behind our back. Big inhale again, sun warrior. Eye gaze can be up or down at that back leg. Come back to warrior two one more time. Sink into that leg. Really power down so you're pulling those muscles into the bone. Windmill the arms all the way down, frame the front foot, pop the back heel, and step back to down dog. Nice job. So as you hold in this down dog, feel free to come down to a child's pose if you need that rest. If you like that vinyasa flow and you want to come forward into a plank, lower down, lift up into a baby cobra. You just want to hang out in down dog right here. You're going to stay here for 5 full breaths. As you're holding in that down dog, I'm going to change my directions. Then the knees, we're gonna take a big step in with that right foot, right between the hands, the same thing we did on our first side. That back heel drops down. Make your way up into warrior two. Reach those arms in opposite directions. Feel the breath. Big inhale, sun warrior. Come back to warrior two. Really sink into those legs. Feel the strength in that front leg, the strength in that back leg. Big inhale, sun warrior. Windmill the arms down, frame the front foot. Hold here. Big step in, forward fold. Bring the hands to the hips. Make your way to standing. Nice job. Shoulders come up, back, and down. So I want you to turn so you're facing, or you're on your mat, but you're in a wide-legged forward fold. So nice wide-legged forward fold. Your sharp side of your foot is parallel to the mat. You're rooting down through all 4 corners of your feet and just holding with your hands on your hips. Just want you to get comfortable in this position. So this should be a position that you can hold for a while. You wouldn't want to stay here all day, but you should be able to hold for a little bit. It's going to work our balance a little bit. We're pulling everything into the midline. We're relaxing our shoulders. And then we're going to slowly hinge forward. As we hinge forward, our hands stay on those hips, trying to bring our body parallel to the floor. So you may notice you need to bend your knees a little bit. As you come parallel to the floor and you feel that point, that you feel that nice stretch in your hamstrings, bring your hands down so you can keep your body parallel to the floor. So for some of us, we may need to grab a block to keep our chest lifted up. Block can go in many different ways, or maybe it's just coming down into the floor, just really extending through the crown of the head then. Then I just want you to rock forward and back. So you're going to feel that stretch through those hamstrings. Nice. When you're ready, slowly rock from side to side, keeping that upper body lifted and in line with the tailbone. So just that separate leg stretching. And again, if it feels best using that block, come back and use the block. And then come back to the center. As we come back to the center, we're going to keep our right hand down to the floor. Our left hand's going to come to the hip. We're going to slowly twist. See if we can bring those shoulders in line with one another. So you have a nice twist. You're going to feel that stretch through your inner thigh of that opposite leg, and then reach the arm all the way up into space, keeping that shoulder away from the ear. And just pausing here. Noticing the sensations in the body. Let's bring the hand back down to the hip. Come back to center. Opposite hand comes down, hand comes to the hip. Make sure those hips are nice and square. And when you're ready, twist into your second side. Shoulders again are stacked. Reach that top arm up. Notice your breath. Slowly come back. Bring the hand down. Walk your hands in. We're going to heel toe our feet together. So they're hips width apart. Come back into that forward fold. Let the head hang. Feel the crown of the head reaching to the earth. When you're ready, bring your hands to your hips and then slowly come up to standing. Excellent. Shoulders come up, back, and down. So we're going to come into our first hips position, and most of you have been in my class before, and so you've done this with me one time or the other, but we're going to come into frog pose. So when we come into frog pose, I think the easiest to see what I'm doing, I'm going to come sideways on my mat. If you want to stay face forward, it's fine. We're just going to come down to our knees. If you have a block close by, feel free to keep the block. We're going to start to walk our knees wide. And so as you do that, you may notice that your knees are a little tender. If you have a blanket at home, or if you want to double up your mat, just start to walk the legs super, super, super wide. The other key here is keeping your foot flexed, keeping your toes pointing out. The arches of your foot, your heel and your toe are all down to the floor. Next, the elbows are going to come down, and we're going to be forward to start, but we're just going to move our hips back. So you're walking your elbows into your body, holding here. Nice job. So just take your time to get into this pose. I'm going to pop up and make sure we don't have any questions. Using that breath. Noticing just how those legs feel. And then there's a couple different things you can do with your upper body. You can stay lifted with your upper body on your elbows. You can bring a block in, staying lifted, or you can start to work your elbows down, making a little pillow for your head, bringing your chest all the way down to the ground. So the key here is finding that sensation in the hips. Once you've found that sensation, just begin to breathe into it. Remembering the pause. Maybe turning your head from side to side.
Changing your angle at any time if you need to. I don't like my forehead down because it feels weird. Feel that stretch in those inner thighs. I'm going to stay here for 2 more complete rounds of breath. After that second round of breath, you'll slowly walk the legs together and come into a child's pose.
Allow your body to settle back in. The next inhale, make your way to a down dog. Right leg reaches up. Left leg works down to the floor. Bend that right knee. Press the leg over. Almost like you're going to flip your dog, but we won't flip our dogs today. Feel that stretch down the right side of your body. Hips should feel really good. Bring the leg back up and slowly replace it to the earth. Left leg lifts up. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Reach that leg up and over. Reach the leg up, slowly come back down. Coming back into down dog. Big breath. Slowly come forward to plank. Holding in plank. My plank needs to be a little longer. Pulling those abs in. Holding here. Bringing that strength back into the arms. Push back. Down dog. Drop the knees down. And come back into child's pose. Reach my hands back by the legs. Just allow us to pause. Take a big breath, slowly come back up onto all fours. We'll come into frog pose one more time. So walk those legs wide, turn those toes so they're pointing in opposite direction. Make sure the feet are flexed. If you need to double up that mat, please do so. Need a little more padding for those knees. And then slowly come down that upper body. As you get into this position, we'll stay here for 5 full rounds of breath. After you've done your 5th round, come back to child's pose. Walk the hands in. Lift the chest. We're going to come into a modified runner's pose. So bring your legs off to the left side. And if you have a difficulty sitting like this, this left leg can just be straight out and the front leg is bent in. Otherwise, if you feel that you can sit like this, keep those sit bones down. Just want you to hold here for a minute. So those hips should be a lot looser than they were when we started class. You can stay in this position here. You can walk down to those elbows. You can come all the way down, touching the forehead down to the ground, but those sit bones must stay on the floor. So as those sit bones start to lift off, just back up, reconnect those sit bones, and then change your position if need be. Slowly walk the hands in, lift the chest, bring the knees up and over to the other side. Same thing, if that back leg doesn't quite feel right, you can extend that leg out to the side, that 45-degree angle. Just sit up nice and tall, letting those hips really settle in. Again, you can keep your body lifted or you can start to come forward. Let's take another big breath in. Exhale it all out. Lift the chest up. Bring those legs forward. And let's just give them a little shake. As we're holding here, shaking those legs out, reaching under, finding those sit bones, taking a big breath in. We're going to exhale, come into a seated forward fold, reaching for those toes, crown of the head reaches forward. Maybe you're reaching for the ankles or the shins. Just feel that nice stretch in the back of the legs. Slowly lift the chest up. Let's come into a crisscross applesauce type position. Your right leg is going to be in front, so I'm going to put my left leg in front. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the camera. So right leg is in front, you're sitting up nice and tall. As you come into this position, I'd like your knees to be down. So if you're in this position and your knees are lifted up, this is right where you want to stay. If those knees have the ability to stay down, you're going to take that right foot and just bring it in onto your calf muscle. And again, sit up nice and tall. Still, if you're wanting or feeling that you need a little bit more, bring it up on your thigh. Try to bring the bottom foot right under the other thigh as those legs come together. So you may notice you need to scoot around a little bit, but you're sitting up nice and tall again. So for me, I'm feeling this sensation right here in my hips. Hopefully you're feeling that too. If you're not quite feeling that, another option would be to bring this bottom foot up on the leg. So those of you that still are looking for a little bit more, you can try that option. That option does not work for me on this side. Take a big breath and let's just close our eyes. Let's just keep our spine long right now. And let's just breathe into those hips.
Take another big breath. Exhale it out. Blink your eyes open. Let's bring our left hand down, or maybe our left elbow. We're going to reach the opposite arm up. We're going to reach all the way over. So for me, bringing the elbow down feels good. I feel a bigger stretch down the side of my body all the way into that hip. And we're just going to hold here. Eye gaze can return to the ceiling, can be forward, can be down to the floor. So again, we're just going to hold this pose just a little bit longer than what quite feels natural, what quite feels right. Working towards that pause. Let's take a big breath. Windmill the arm all the way up and over. We're going to come to the other side, bring the hand down or bring the elbow down. Reach all the way up and over again, feeling that stretch down the side body. Holding here, keeping that shoulder back, keeping that elbow back. Notice as you're breathing, are you holding on to anything? Holding tension anywhere in your body? Take a big breath, slowly come back to center. We're going to rock back, bring those legs forward, stretch them out long. Maybe rub them out. And then we always know we get to go to the second side. So setting it up, this time the left leg is in front. So however you set it up on the first side, see if you can set it up the same on the second side. Maybe your flexibility is a little bit different. So maybe you have to do something just a little bit different. So just listen to your body. But allow your time and the space just to set up. When you've found that sweet spot, just close your eyes. Again, connecting with that breath. Waiting for that in between. When you're ready, blink the eyes open. Let's start out with bringing that right hand down. That left arm is going to reach up and over. You know your flexibility level. So taking it where you feel that best stretch, bringing that shoulder back, gazing forward or down to the floor. And knowing it's okay to smile. Big breath all the way to the other side. Keeping those sit bones down.
When you're ready, slowly come back to the center. Oh, the same thing we did after that first side. Stretch those legs out. If you need to come into that forward fold, seated forward fold, please do so. So our hips have continued to wake up, and for most of us, we have a love or hate relationship with pigeon. We're going to make our way into pigeon in just a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to do that little challenge that I had been doing in my class for a long time. So we're going to bring our legs in. We're going to come to standing without using those hands. So if that means grabbing a block, setting it under your bottom to come up, if that means crisscrossing your legs, bringing your feet together, bringing the knees apart, or bringing the knees together, let's just come to standing. Come back to the top of your mat. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forward fold, right foot steps back. I'll pause here for a moment. Step back to down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Same thing. Reach the leg up and slowly come down. Let's lift the left leg up. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Cross it across the body. Nice. Reach the leg up, slowly come down. Bend both knees. Shoot forward into plank. Nice. You can stay here or slowly lower down. Roll the shoulders back, lift up. Come back down, tuck the toes under, meet back in down dog, please. Walk it out. Before we come into pigeon, I want you to slowly come forward as you come into plank. As we're coming into plank, it's really important to make sure the weight is evenly distributed. Feel like you're right in the center, so you're pulling those abs in tight, pushing those heels back behind. We're just gonna lift our right hand up to our left shoulder. As we do that, we're gonna try not to rock from side to side. So maybe it's coming down on your knees. Maybe it's bringing your knees back a little further. But just coming from side to side. Let's see if we can do 10 more. When you finish them, hold here, drop down to your knees. Nice job, come into child's pose. Ah. When you're ready, come back to down dog. I think for me, the hardest thing about teaching Zoom classes is that I don't get to see reactions. I don't get to see how you guys are doing. I just have to kind of play it by ear. So coming into pigeon pose, let's start with our right leg. We're gonna reach that right leg up into the sky. Let's see how high you can reach it up. That left leg is working down, working that heel down. When you are ready, remember we're gonna pull that right knee into the right wrist and set it down on our mat. Left leg comes back behind, toes tucked down. The more parallel this front leg is to the top of your mat, the bigger stretch you're gonna feel when you come into pigeon. So just taking your time, moving into it. Maybe you need to come off into your hip
Straighten that leg up, just making sure that form is really good before you go any deeper. I like to bring my hands to the inside of that front leg. I like to just allow my spine to grow long and keeping those glutes engaged. You can hold here. You can come down to your elbows, or you can come all the way down to your chest, forearms. Make a pillow for your head. Long spine. So since we've done several other hip exercises, again, this is one that we should be able to just kind of settle into, maybe go a little bit deeper than we normally would. Maybe you need to wiggle around a little bit more. Maybe those back toes like to stay tucked under, and that's okay. Just find the position that fits you best. Following that breath. Keeping that belly firm. So feel free to stay right here. If you want to come into mermaid with me, you can. Or you can choose just to stay right here. We're going to slowly lift the chest up. If you're needing a little bit more, that back leg is going to bend. So you're reaching it in. So as you bend this back leg, just be mindful of those hamstrings and those quads if they're a little bit tight. The same hand is going to reach back for that leg. So it should be your left hand. You're going to reach all the way up and around, reaching to the inside, pulling that leg in. So this is the first part. You can maybe stay right here. If you have a little more to give and you want to work those toes into the elbow, bring the toes into the elbow. Maybe it's staying right here. If and when you're ready, you can reach that right arm all the way up and around for those left fingers. I'm staying here today. So we've got hips, we've got quads, that whole lower body working. Let's try one more big breath. Release out of that position. Frame the front leg, push back, down dog. Maybe walk it out. Maybe come forward to plank and then lower your body down. Maybe just stay right here or come into child's pose. I'll let you decide. You do get to do the other side. So when you are ready, come back into child's pose. Lift that left leg high up into the sky. Set yourself up into your perfect pigeon. Allow your spine to grow nice and long.
Keep your body lifted, or allow yourself to come forward. Just know wherever you're at, just remember that pause. Remember to take that full breath in and that full exhale out. You can choose to stay right here. If you need a little bit of a quad stretch, come with me. Lift your body up. Spine is long. Hands are on the inside of that front leg. Back leg bends, pulling that leg in. Right arm reaches all the way up and around. Pull that leg in, square the shoulders back up. Maybe it's staying right here. Maybe you're working those toes into the crease of your elbow. Again, growing a little bit longer through that spine. And just maybe holding here. Maybe this is where you're at today. You can reach the left arm all the way around, reaching for those right fingers. Just using your breath. Let's stay here for one more big inhale. Exhale it out. Release that leg. Bring the hands on each side of that front knee. Push back. Same thing you did on that first side. So if it was coming into a plank, lowering yourself down. If it was just staying in down dog, when you're ready, slowly come down onto all fours. Walk the hands in. And let's take a seat on our mat. As we take a seat, we're going to slowly lower onto our back. Let's reach the right leg up into the sky. Reaching for that ankle, the back of the leg. Left leg is bent. We can extend that left leg out, and we're just going to allow that left leg to hover right above the floor. Toes are flexed. Upper body is lifted. Staying really active in the stretch right now. You can point and flex those right toes. Slowly lower the upper body down. Allow that left leg to come all the way down into the floor. Nice job. Bring the right knee into the chest. We're going to tee the right arm out. We're going to pull that knee across the chest, keeping that right shoulder down. Maybe the leg is just in space. Maybe the leg comes all the way down. Just feel that stretch through the hip, through the upper back, down through the side. Again, if you need a little bigger stretch, you can stretch this front leg long, this top leg long. Eye gaze is towards that extended hand. When you're ready, bend the top knee, bring it back into the center. Let's bring that right leg down to the floor now. Left leg reaches up to the sky. Upper body lifts. Lift the chest up and then point and flex. Again, with this right leg, we're going to reach the right leg out. Allow it to hover. Just holding here. Upper body comes down, right leg comes down to the floor. Left knee comes into the chest, left arm reaches out. And he comes all the way across the body, holding there. Eye gazes towards that extended arm again. Keeping that shoulder down. I'm going to head back to the center. Bring the knee back. Bring both knees into the chest. Just roll from side to side. The earth receives us. I'm going to come into just a couple quick little bridge poses. Bridge is a great way to elevate your mood if you're feeling just kind of blah, which today is kind of a blah day. So bring your feet down, feet are hips width apart. Hands are down by your sides. When you're ready, lift the hips all the way up. Hands come under the hips, rolling up on those shoulders. And just breathing into this position. Release the hands, take your time, come all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest. We're going to do that same bridge pose 2 more times. If you are needing a little bit more and you want to come into wheel, please feel free to. Bring the legs back down. Lift the hips. Maybe interlace the fingers or just keep those arms reaching out. If you're coming into wheel, bringing your hands up by your ears, your elbows are pulling together. Taking your time, lowering down. Stretch long this time. One last time. Walk the feet in. Lift the hips. Come up on shoulders. Bring your hands in. If you're choosing to come into wheel, this time I'll come with you. Taking your time, slowly lowering down when you're ready. that doesn't elevate your mood, I don't know what will. Oh, just take your time. Next couple breaths, if there's any additional stretches that you need for your practice today, take time to do them. As you found any more stretches that you need, make your way into Shavasana. Stretching your body long. Just allowing yourself to settle. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you. And the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that when you open your eyes, the world looks different. Newly born and vibrant, just for now. Just allow your breath allow yourself to continue to soften. Continue to allow everything soften. If your mind is wandering, come back to the breath. You can continue to do your own thing. Or if you'd like to come with me, bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. First, bring your attention to the hand that is on your heart. Notice the rise and the fall. Notice the soft beating of your heart. Notice how you keep your attention there. You can almost feel your heart growing bigger. Also know that when you're looking for direction, you can always bring your hand to your heart, and your heart will help lead the way. Tell your heart thank you. Thank you for everything it does. And then bring your hand or your attention to your hand that's on your belly. Also notice the rise and the fall. Our belly is another awesome tool that we have. You can tell us when things aren't right. You get that queasy feeling in your belly. Listen to your intuition. Follow that little voice. Tell that little voice, thank you. When you're ready, you can release your hand from your heart and your belly. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes.
When you're ready, you can roll to one side, making your way back up into the seated position that we started class with. My soul honors your soul. I honor the place and where the entire universe resides. I honor the light, the love, the truth, the beauty, and peace within you, because it's also within me. In sharing these things, we are united, we are the same, we are one. Bringing our hands to heart center, bowing our head. Namaste.